Welcome back to character class. Let's talk about the bight, the loop, and the half hitch. First of all, before we start with knots, let's get into what a bight and a loop is. A bight is a simple bend in the rope. So if I took this rope, for example, this kern mantle rope, and I just formed this bight, it's a simple bend. The difference between a bight and a loop is that I now cross it. I've made a loop. Once again, bight and a loop. Those are important because we use those definitions when we describe and put together knots. Now, one of the other aspects of our knots is what's called a half hitch. The half hitch itself is a knot. I can tie off, for example, a rope to an object. Okay. Now, if you notice that this half hitch, this knot, is not a super secure knot, particularly when I have a less friction kind of rope, such as a braided or a double braid rope. But we'll use a half hitch to simply dress off our other knots. Half hitches prevent other knots from slipping. Which brings the question, what is a knot? A knot is a temporary system that holds something in place. It utilizes friction. And because the knot is doing something here, and it's strengthening here, that strength has been taken from the rest of the rope. A knot will actually weaken the rest of the rope. Well, why do we use knots? Because it doesn't weaken it that much, but it does provide a weakness to the rest of the rope. So just know that. A lot of people, that's why they use pulleys. They use other means other than knots to haul equipment, for example. You've probably seen loops that are built into and manufactured into, for example, a tow rope. But knots are, generally speaking, it's not that bad if you went ahead and made a bunch of knots for, like, for example, a climbing rope. Now, on a half hitch, all we're going to do is form a loop, and then we're going to take our running end, and we're going to put it through. And you see that pretzel? That's your half hitch. Then we secure it. Now notice that this kern mantle is kind of stiff. Okay? So kern mantle is stiff, so I have to get handsy and work that knot in to tighten it down. Okay? And notice that unlike when you get into twisted ropes, the knot can come off. It is a little loose. This happens with all knots. Now we use half hitches not to just to secure a rope quickly or to do something that's very temporary. We use half hitches also to tie off another knot. So if we have running ends, let's say there's a knot here, I'll make a half hitch just as that extra safety measure to make sure that my knot does not go anywhere, it doesn't come unslip. Because if pressure does get applied, the half hitch will tighten down. We'll see you on the high ground.